So the co-main event of UFC Fight Night 141 in Beijing, China involves a heavyweight clash between fan favorite but now on a 2-fight losing streak Alistair Overeem taking on relatively unknown Sergey Pavlovich, native of Russia. We're going to go do the breakdown right now. And we're going to start with Alistair, the Demolition Man Overeem. And what is there really to say about Alistair? I mean, he's 38 years old. He's a very, very chiseled, I guess, heavyweight. He has 43 wins, 17 losses. If your math's right, he has been in 60 professional fights. Actually 61 because he has one no contest. So, yeah, he has definitely been around. I mean, just his UFC appearances dating from 2011. Before that, he fought in Strikeforce, K1, UG Dream, K1 Pride, WCFC. I mean, 2H, I don't even know what that is. M1, it's Showtime, Christmas edition, where he got a win by a key lock. Rings Russia versus the world. And that's basically what we got. We got Russia versus the world, what seems to be here, with Alistair's experience from all over the world taking on this relatively unknown, undefeated Sergey Pavlovich. But let's just look into Alistair Overeem. Let's look at this stream right here. So his last 2 fights, obviously, lost to Curtis Blaydes, where Curtis Blaydes basically, cut Alistair so bad it looked like Mount Rushmore on his forehead, and he just, he lost. It was brutal. Curtis Blaydes put on probably one of his best performances to date. And before that, he got murdered by Francis Ngannou in the first round KO. I don't even want to explain that. That was a... And before that, his last 5, he is 2-3 with wins over Mark Hunt and Fabrice Verdum, and losses to Stipe, Francis Curtis. Before that, he was on a 4-fight win streak with wins over Stefan Struve, Roy Nelson, JDS, and Andrei Arlovsky. So, what I have to say about Alistair Overeem is he is what you call a fucking fighter. This guy comes to fight. You look at how frequently he fights. I mean, look at this. 3 times in 2017, including this event, 2 times in 2018, 2 times in 2016. I mean, for a guy who's 38 years old and has almost 70 mixed martial arts fights under his belt, that is ridiculous. Alistair Overeem, we look at his fight metric right here. Significant strikes landed per minute, an impressive 3.53. His takedown average is 1.39. Striking actually 61%. That is actually a pretty good striking percentage considering the fact that he is a heavyweight and also considering the fact of how long he has been competing for. His significant strikes absorbed per minute are actually only 1.93. Initially, when I just look at Alistair Overeem and I just think back to all the fights he's been in, I would imagine that number to be higher. And his striking defense is 61%. He's not much of a takedown guy. His takedown defense is actually a very impressive 72%. A lot of people have the misconception that he doesn't have that good of a takedown defense. But with that metric, it actually shows that he is pretty decent. Of course, in the fight with Curtis Blaydes, he did not show too much of that good defense. But either way, Alistair Overeem, I mean, he can knock you out. He can submit you. He's a very, very well-rounded fighter. Very arrogant in his, mantra and his appearances. Has wins against some of the best fighters in the world. Has losses to some of the best fighters in the world. He's on a 2-fight losing streak. He definitely does not want to catch a 3rd loss here. I remember when this guy was on the undercard. I think it was for the Curtis Blaydes fight that they put him on the undercard, and that was just absolutely ridiculous. But, Alistair Overeem co-main eventing for Beijing, I think that's a great fight for him. He could take it as a rebound fight, but his opponent, and I honestly tried to look for his fight metric, but it does not exist. We have Sergey Pavlovich. We know he's from Russia. Trains out of Eagles MMA, and for those who don't know, Eagles MMA is Khabib Nurmagomedov's gym in Russia. He is a lighter heavyweight, weighing in at 238 pounds. A decent height for the heavyweight division at 6'3". He's 12 wins and no losses. He has 9 KOs, 0 submissions, 3 decisions, and we don't know his age. And if you're going to take that 12 wins, 0 losses as a determining factor to how good he is, you look at the people he's fought. So first of all, he starts his career in 2014. So in 4 years, because that started in December, he has fought 12 times, averaging about 3 fights per year, which is pretty decent. But let's see the people who's fought. I don't know any of these guys at all. We'll look at his last 5, I guess. So Shaban Ka won by TKO. This guy is 8-5. We look at Akhmedshah Galagev. I'm not trying to butcher these names. I just apologize. 5-1. Hasn't fought since 2016. A young guy as well. Alexei Kudin. 24-11, veteran guy. Has that many fights. Is only 33. I bet you this guy's actually pretty decent. Just judging by the amount of fights he's been in, you can at least say he's experienced. Mikhail Moknakin, 11-2, young guy, looks pretty promising. And his last appearance in November of 2017, so it's been a year since he's fought inside of a professional fight, was against Kirill Sidelnikov. And we'll just pull him up right here. And he is 11-6. Not the most impressive record, but again, we shouldn't put too much emphasis on record. He actually fought on Bellator 209, which was in Israel, against Adam Karish, and he lost via TKO head kick. Honestly, Sergey Pavlovich is a huge unknown right now. There's not a lot of information out there with him. It's actually very hard to find these fights from these organizations, Fight Night Globe, and, EFN. So it is pretty challenging to find some dirt on this guy. He has a year layoff. There are no fight metrics, according to Fight Metric LLC, where I typically get all my information from. So, I don't really know what to say for this fight. Is Alistair Overeem approaching the end of his career? I would probably say he should be, but that doesn't mean he necessarily is. This guy is a monster. The amount of fights he's been in, he's experienced. He can always knock you out. The amount of head damage he's taken and the future consequence of that will be significant and evident as the future comes. And as he's exposed to more and more interviews where he's required to, speak and conjugate phrases, sentences in a coherent sense. Sergey Pavlovich looks fresher. You look at a lot of his victories have come in the first round. Wow, what is that? Like 9 wins. Oh, more than that have come in the first round out of his 12 victories. So, looks like this guy definitely doesn't have the amount of MMA mileage that Alistair has. We'll see. I would like to see Alistair maybe get this victory, maybe string up a few more victories here and there within the UFC. But Sergey Pavlovich, with a victory over Alistair Overeem, could potentially see him become a contender and a potential threat in the heavyweight division. They are seeking that new talent. And who knows, maybe this Sergey Pavlovich guy is the guy they're looking for. But overall, based on this lack of experience, I'm not going to give a result. I don't have a prediction here. I don't know how good Sergey Pavlovich is, and I can't really gauge the skill level compared to Alistair Overeem. Judging with his last 2 appearances, Alistair Overeem didn't have much to say. Lost in the first one against Francis Ngannou. Can't really blame the guy. He got hit by a truck. And against Curtis Blaydes, Blaydes played a smart fight, took him down, and Alistair Overeem, as we know, doesn't have the best ground game off his back. But that is my prediction. I don't know who's going to win. I'm not going to bet on this fight. I'm going to watch it. I want to study Sergey Pavlovich a little bit more and hopefully see Alistair Overeem not take damage to the head. But I'll leave it to you guys. What do you think of this fight? Do you know more about Sergey Pavlovich than I do? Do you think Alistair Overeem can come back and snap his 2-fight losing streak and hopefully string up some victories? And overall, who do you think is going to win at UFC Fight Night 141 in Beijing, China in this co-event fight? Make sure you leave your comment section below. If you haven't already, comment, like, and subscribe. And as always, guys, thank you so much for watching, and have a good day.